guys, so this is gonna be a story about the 2 times that I got stitches. So here's the scar from the first time I ever got stitches. Yeah, and then these are my current stitches. So, oh god, sorry. Yeah. So the first time I had stitches, I think this had to be 8th grade year. I was coming home from school and I had gotten off the bus and I walked home and I was on my back door and I was just rummaging through my backpack looking for my keys. Yeah, I couldn't find my keys. So I was thinking, I was like, where can my keys be? I didn't leave them at home. I know that I didn't leave them at home. So I remember that the day before that, I forgot my keys, but I went over to my neighbor's house to get the extra key to my house so that I could get in, you know? So I realized I never got my keys out of my locker from the day before. So I started thinking, oh, did I bring the keys back to the ladies next door so I could get in today? I didn't. Looked in my window, they were sitting right on my dining room table. So I was like, crap, how am I gonna get in the house? Because I had to pee really bad. So I, did what any person would do and pushed on my broken window because like it's supposed to be like straight and you're supposed to like be able to like pull it up this way. But ours was broken at the time, so you could like literally push it in and it would go from like being straight to like going like this. So I was trying to push my hand in this way and like reach around and unlock the door. Yeah, my mom got the window fixed without telling me. So, being the old dummy I am, I kept pushing on the window thinking at some point it was gonna budge. Because even if you locked it, the lock was broken. Until she got it fixed, So I just kept pushing and I was like, it's gotta budge. I gotta pee. Like, I gotta get in the house, So I just keep pushing this way. Like, everyone, when they hear the story, they think, like, what the heck? So, pushed so hard, my hands went through the glass. And when I heard the glass break, I froze and I freaked out. I thought my mom was gonna ground me, beat me, the huge. And, didn't think about, like, being hurt. So, come to find out, there's a piece of glass, like, hanging on my arm. So, being a retard, I pulled the glass out of my arm. And I looked down, and I saw blood on my Sperry's. My brand new Sperry's. I had just gotten these for my birthday. Mind you, this is like 2 weeks, maybe even just a week after my birthday. I think I had turned 13 or 14 this year. Yeah. I ruined the Sperry's my mom had just bought me for that school year. So, I'm freaking out, bleeding all over the deck, all over my shoes, and the ladies next door hear me screaming. So they come out and they see blood everywhere. So then they grab me a towel and I wrap it around my arm and they're like, apply pressure, apply pressure. So like, I was just sitting there like this, applying pressure as there's flesh. I mean a fat chunk. Like, imagine like 3 cotton balls just stuck to your arm right here, but like it's your own flesh that you're looking at. Yeah, so I was holding it there while they called the ambulance. The ambulance popped up and I was afraid of being grounded. So in the ambulance, I'm not thinking, oh my God, my arm's bleeding and there's flesh hanging out of it. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my mom's going to take my phone and I need to delete anything incriminating. Like, duh, because like all kids say curse words to their friends and don't want their parents to know, even though your parents secretly know that you curse. So I'm just deleting conversations and stuff, deleting certain messages. Get to the hospital. I don't really remember much of it. It's kind of in and out, losing a lot of blood. So once I finally like woke up and my mom was there, they were talking about my stitches. My mom walks in. First thing she says is, are you okay? Like, how are you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, Mom. I'm good. Completely A-okay, as I'm freaking out inside wondering what she's going to say next or she's going to do next. And she's like, what were you thinking? No. I said that I had to pee, and, yeah. She called me an idiot, which I was, because I could have easily went next door to the neighbors and peed and then waited there until my mom got home from work. But what did I do? Busted through a double pane window. And when I say double pane, I mean 2 thick pieces of glass. I busted through them. And my mom was like, if you wanted to break the window, why didn't you throw a rock? That was not my intention. That's the same question everyone asks when I tell this story. Why didn't you just break the window? That was not my intention. My intention was to push the window open, reach in and grab the lock on the door and open it. Okay? That's not what happened. So yeah, I got stitches put in. Hurt like hell because they had to stick the numbing needle in first, which is about yay long. Which is the only painful part because then you can't feel the rest once they're stitching it up. And they had to like cut a piece of my flesh off and had a weird little piece of skin hanging down. So they were like, you're lucky you kept this piece of skin, because if you would have lost this piece of skin, we wouldn't have been able to sew you up. We had to put a skin graft on. And I was like, at that time, I didn't know what that was. But now that I watch Grey's Anatomy, I know what it is. So yeah. And then recovery was not painful at all. It was actually pretty quick, pretty simple. And I pulled the stitches out myself. So that was all cool, pain-free. The second time I got stitches, aka this time, which was actually last week on Friday. It was supposed to be a good day. I had good intentions for that day. Yeah, it didn't go as planned. So I was in my 3rd class of the day, and it was art. I'm doing this project recreating an occurrence at the Owl Creek Bridge. It's a story from the Civil War. You should look it up. Pretty interesting. Really passionate about it. So I'm in class, and I have this big wad of hot glue that I'm layering and coloring blue to make this water of this bridge area. And I'm cutting it with an X-Acto knife to level it off so you can see the different layers of blue in the water. People always tell you not to cut toward your body, but I don't like to listen to rules, so just slicing away toward my hand. So I'm holding the project. I don't even remember how I'm holding this thing for me to slice my pinky open. I like to think that I was holding it up like this so that I could have a good angle to see it, because like flat on the thing, I was like sitting up higher than like the desk itself. So I was trying to pick it up to like level it. So I'm like cutting like this, like as if I were carving a turkey, with holding the turkey in my hand, kind of. And I'm like cutting this way, and I'm slicing and slicing and slicing. And then I like literally 5 seconds before I cut my hand, I turn to my friend behind me. We're the only 2 in this classroom because we're in like a different classroom than we're like normal than everybody else in the class, because we needed different materials. So we're sitting in there working, and I literally turn around to her and say, I gotta be careful cutting toward my hand because I might cut myself because my hand keeps slipping. Because the first 2 times I like nicked myself twice in between my pinky and ring finger. 5 seconds after I say that, slice my finger open. I have current pictures that I'll insert. Yeah, so slice my finger open, started bleeding everywhere. And all I said was really calmly, turn around and go, oh my God. And she turns around and she's thinking that I got a text from my boyfriend because of the argument or something, that something had went down. But no, just slice my finger open. Cool, totally. So she starts freaking out. She runs and grabs a teacher, and the teacher thinks that it's something normal, like we needed a material or something. Then she sees that she's freaking out. She walks in, there's blood squirting out of my hand, like literally squirting. Like imagine one of those super soaker guns full of water that you spray at like the beach with your friends or like the pool or whatever. Yeah, it was squirting out my hand all over the floor, all over. It got on my Vans. I was very upset about that, but I just cleaned them today, so it's pretty cool. So she's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm holding my hand like this. And she's like, what are you doing? Like, grab a paper towel, like, apply compression. Like, you need to stop the bleeding. And, like, I was in shock. I was like, oh, okay. So I finally get up. So I get up, grab a paper towel, cover it. But the thing is, I didn't know that, the blood was coming out of my pinky. I thought it was coming from between my fingers from the other 2 times I nicked it. So I fold my pinky down, which I can't really do right now. It's really painful. And I'm holding it like this. I'm holding my hand like this, like this. And I have this paper towel over it in between my fingers. And so I get to the nurse's office and they're like, okay, I need you to remove your hand. And I could not, when I tell you I physically could not make my brain unclench this hand, I physically could not. They had to pry my fingers away. And I unfolded my finger. And they were like, oh, yeah, it's on your little pinky here. And I was like, it's on my what now? It's on my pinky. So this whole time I was walking to the nurse's office, I was dripping blood across the concrete of my campus because it's like not one big building. It's like multiple buildings separated into little wings. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a college campus. And so after they like tried to clean all the dried blood off of me, I just laid in the bed in the nurse's office. So I have my hand on the ice and I'm just laying back all awkward and stuff, double chin in action, you know. So I'm watching Grey's Anatomy with my AirPods in, chilling, cool. So I had to make my mom drive all that way just to come get me. Because I couldn't really drive with my finger. Okay, guys, sorry for that interruption. My idiot boyfriend just decided to call me, and I'm gonna punch him when I see him next. But yeah, I couldn't drive. I don't care. Doesn't matter. So she gets there, and the nurses walk me down to the car, and they're like, yeah, she's probably gonna need a few stitches. Yeah. So my mom's like, we're not going to the hospital. We're just going to like Medicare. Medicare? What? It's like Med Express or something. I don't know. It's like urgent care, but like not urgent care. I'm confused. I don't know. It has a weird name. We're in Illinois. I don't know. But so we get in there and we get to talking to the lady, and we're like trying to get all my stuff in, and we're like, we get all the stuff done, and we're like just sitting there having it. There's no one else in there. Like, we're the only people in there besides the workers. So we're just having this good conversation about Grey's Anatomy, and she like ruins Grey's Anatomy for me. I am on season 10. I just started watching this like a month and a half ago. So I'm on season 10, and she like just ruins it because she's like on the current season. And I'm like, literally, I want to kill you. And then she's like, when was your last cycle? And like I told her, and she was like, have you been sexually active, or should we be worried about you being pregnant? And I literally said no. And my mom looks at me like, no, I have not. Like, back up, please. So, ooh, that was cool. Ooh, ow, that hurt. So she's like, okay, let's just take you to this room. She took my temperature, blood pressure, and all that good stuff. So she took me to the room, and the guy comes in, and if you have ever watched Grey's Anatomy, you know who George O'Malley is. The one who got hit. Let me not ruin that in case you haven't watched it. George O'Malley. You know who George O'Malley is. O'Malley is if you've watched Grey's Anatomy. This doctor looked just like him. I was freaking out. I was like, okay, that's cool. So he like looked at my hand and he was like, oh yeah, pretty deep. About 1 centimeter deep. 1 centimeter is about half this finger, guys. This is my pinky. So it's cool, you know. He's like, okay, we're gonna just put your hand in a saline bath, wash it out. So, you know, he like numbed me, and I literally cried so ugly. You see this face? Times 10. It was so bad. It was horrible. But I'm not going to insert the clip and embarrass myself. Or maybe I should. I don't know. I'll figure that out when I'm editing.
Keep your finger and hand down.
Look at mommy.
Okay. You're going to feel a poke.
Look at mommy. I love you. It's okay.
And some burn.
Yeah. So I can't bend my pinky all the way down the right way. Look. Hold on. I don't know how do I demonstrate it before? Okay, yeah. So when I try to bend it and make a fist, it like bends crooked. And it doesn't bend all the way down. Unless I force it to, but then it strains my stitches and then it's really painful. So yeah, it's a really painful recovering process. So don't cut your fingers open because you have so many nerves in your fingers that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have like permanent nerve damage and like, oops. But those are the stories of the times that I got stitches. And basically they just put me on antibiotics so that it doesn't get an infection because it happened at school. And like, they don't know if the knife was clean, which it probably wasn't. I was cutting hot glue. Then those sticks sit around the classroom and those knives get touched by a lot of people. It was kind of in a clay classroom. So, yeah, who knows. But, that was that story. If you want more story times, comment down below what you want them to be about. Or if you don't like these, I mean, you should give it a thumbs up, this video a thumbs up anyway for my effort and time that I put into this channel. And just leave your suggestions below. Yeah, you guys go out there and live your best lives. And let me know if I should do a video where I give my opinions on like double standards and stereotypes and things like that. So I'm gonna get out of here and yeah, peace.